1 out of 2 cars sold in India right now either belong to the compact SUV segment or the SUV segment. And if there's one car which is largely responsible for this massive revolution in SUVs, it is none other than the Hyundai Creta. So much that Hyundai has actually sold 9.5 million copies of this till now. Although the Creta aged like a fine wine, Hyundai decided to give it a facelift so that it is newer and fresher in the market, and this is the result of it. Hello and welcome back to Shutterdrives. The biggest problem of the earlier Creta was the polarizing design language. Either people loved it or hated it to bits. Thankfully, somebody at Hyundai thought about this and things have got much nicer and better. This car is way more pleasing to people. Of course, some people pointed out that this looks way too similar to the Hyundai Venue. I think that is one small concern. Talking about the design elements, you have the long DRL, which looks fantastic when it glows up at night. You have the big chunky grille here. The design of the grille is thoda extra loud. It could have been tapered down a little bit. And then you have the revised bumper, which looks macho, bang on 5-on-5 design for the front bumper. And then of course you have the front parking sensors. You have the front camera as well, but the quad LED headlights steal the thunder because they look fantastic, especially when you look at it personally. You get 3 powertrains to choose from. The 1.5 litre naturally aspirated petrol is either mated to a 6-speed manual gearbox or IVT. The 1.5 litre diesel is mated either to a 6-speed manual gearbox or a 6-speed automatic. And the third 1.5 turbo-petrol comes with a 7-speed DCT gearbox. Hyundai has nailed it this time with the diamond cut alloy wheel design, and you get 17-inch alloys and you get all 4 disc brakes. The rear silhouette of the Creta looks fab. You have the 360-degree camera which is neatly embedded in the ORVMs, which also come with the indicator. And then you do not get the request sensor for the co-driver side, you just get it for the driver side. You have the roof rail which is not functional but just adds to the neat, nice element of that extra touch and sophistication. The ground clearance is actually ample, although Hyundai hasn't disclosed it, but we were coming through boulders and boulders here and did not scrape its underbelly even once. You get a 50-litre fuel tank capacity in the Creta, and I honestly feel they should have at least given us 60 litres so that the diesel manual's range would have been amazing. The rear design of the Creta looks so much better than the existing one, especially with this long connected LED tail lamp, which is just the trend right now. And then you have the rear bumper which looks fabulous and it makes the whole car look a lot more butchier. You have this beautifully integrated reverse light there. The reverse camera is damn nicely integrated and you get 4 rear parking sensors. You get a shark fin antenna, rear spoiler which looks amazing, rear wiper, and you have a proper 433 liters of boot space, which means that 2 cabin bag and a duffel bag could easily sleep inside. So as soon as you step inside the Creta, first thing is you are greeted by the large screen here, which is probably inspired from the E-Class. You have 2 10.25-inch screens here. Right side is strictly for the driver information like the speedo, tacho and other ADAS related functions, fuel economy and whatnot. And then on the left you have all the multimedia controls like the navigation. You have something called as the valet mode, which you have seen in other Hyundai cars as well. But what's nicer is you have the JioSaavn 1-year subscription with the Creta, and the responsiveness of the touch is pretty nice. Feels a bit matte here, but overall the responsiveness is good because responsiveness was never a complaint in the Hyundai cars. You have the 8-speaker Bose music system. Apart from the traditional English voice commands, you have Hindi commands like sunroof kholo,
opening the sunroof.
You have the D-cut steering wheel with paddle shifters behind it. You have tons of physical buttons here, which means that one less thing to worry about when you're driving the car. Less order of distractions, which is very good, especially thanks to Hyundai for actually maintaining that old tradition there. You have various charging options, Type-C there, 12-volt USB charger, and of course a wireless charger there. And what's nicer is you have a cooled glove box right now, the space of which is pretty decent. You can keep your phone or whatever it is here. You have large horizontal AC vents going with the nice horizontal design theme which we saw in cars like Hyundai Ioniq 5 earlier too. There's an auto-dimming IRVM, sunglass holder, no vanity mirror for the sun visor here. There's a proper drive selector here, 3 drive modes to choose from, 3 traction modes to choose from. There's an electric parking brake, auto hold button, seat ventilation for the front seats. There is electric parking brake. You also get cup holders, the size of which is different. There is storage space below the front center armrest. You have 8-way electrically adjustable driver's seat. There's a magnet too, just like the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Talking about the rear, first things first, you get this nice sun blinds which are so thoughtful, And then you have these cushions which are very comforting, but the comfort is limited when you realize that the rear seat is actually quite firm. It could have been a lot softer. The legroom is pretty decent. Luckily the floor hump is very minimalistic, the headroom is good, and even the underseat support is pretty nice. You have rear AC vents with 2 Type-C chargers. Everybody going the Type-C way right now. The seat can be reclined, and overall it feels very nice and plush because you have this light headrest here and the darker seats here. Smaller things which matter a lot. So we are driving the Creta diesel 1.5 litre that produces 113 bhp and 250 Nm of torque. The exact same engine has been written from the earlier Creta. But why fix something that isn't broken? This was a regular workhorse for Creta. Didn't get some insane volume numbers, but Hyundai is hopeful that this will continue to sell pretty well. So you have 3 driving modes to choose from, and they actually make a difference. Right now we're driving in the sport mode and not the eco mode, and we can say that the car is slightly more responsive to throttle inputs. And then you have ADAS 2.0 in the Creta, which means that there are 19 ADAS functions, including everything you can possibly think of. We have put the screen here which gives you details on the ADAS functions. So talking about the driving position, it's a pretty good driving position. You can see the bonnet end to end as you drive the car, because the 8-way electrically adjustable seat has a healthy driving position. And the brakes are slightly better, but not great as such. Say probably 7.5 on 10 at max. The steering feedback has been considerably improved compared to the earlier Hyundai cars. Especially in the sport mode, the steering weighs really nicely, and especially north of 80-90 speeds, you will feel that the steering has complete grip over your controls. The seat comfort is good. Unlike the rear seat, which is pretty stiff, the front seat is way better in terms of comfort. So this is a 6-speed torque converter automatic gearbox. The gear shifts are nice, linear, smooth. It's not that it's going to throw you back to the seat when you accelerate, but no massive jerks as such.
The new Creta has a more sophisticated feeling to it now, and the ride is more comfortable and polished than before. Over speed breakers and bigger bumps, the suspension soaks up the impact in a quiet fashion. It's only in the sharp potholes that you will feel the suspension third. That said, there's some room before it gets closer to the segment benchmarks. Handling has also seen an improvement with the new Creta, staying flatter through the corners and turns them nicely too. There is some body roll, but it's very predictable and doesn't unsettle the car through faster corners.
Hyundai has sold 9.5 lakh Cretas till date, and the sales chart are just going to touch the roof and probably slash beyond, because this car is what India was looking for. The Creta has all the bells and features possible. In fact, so much that it is 2 to 3 years ahead of its time. It's now slightly marginally bigger. More importantly, it looks way better. Not at all polarizing, which will appeal to a lot more people. Not just that, Hyundai has got most of the boxes right. If there's one thing that we'll have to point out, that is, we'll have to see what the global NCAP rating for this is going to be. Because if that is one area where Hyundai is going to excel, just like the way they did it with Verna, they have a huge blockbuster coming up. Be prepared for massive waiting periods in the nearest Hyundai showroom near you. Take care and drive safe.